Outside the Box Reviews, we're taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nation's S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Son Goku figure from Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. Or Dragon Ball Super, I guess, at this point. And this was one of the Figuarts DBZ figures we were promised last fall, where the release schedule seemed to get so messed up and went from one release a month to all of them really just becoming available in the US in December. But I was very much anticipating this figure, so much so that I actually had to buy it twice because my first order has disappeared into the US postal system. So with this replacement one from Big Bad Toy Store, I could finally take a look at this figure. And our Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Son Goku, my god, that's a lot of words, comes with what kind of feels like the standard selection of Figuarts accessories. We get a selection of hands, a selection of faces, and the bonus that you saw at the beginning, the extra non-Super Saiyan Goku head. And as you can see here, we get a pair of fisted hands, a pair of grappling hands, a pair of blasting hands, a pair of kung fu hands, and one instant transmission hand. The standard Goku head comes with just a pissed off face expression. We did get this on the regular release. It's nothing special. I was kind of hoping it would be maybe the exclusive SDCC head, but that's probably hoping for a little bit much. And then we get three heads for Goku himself. We have a screaming head, pissed off head, and a smirking head, which the pissed off and smirking heads, it's almost impossible to tell the difference unless you look really closely. And just to kind of show you the difference between the pissed off and the smirking head, it's really mostly there in the mouth. Pissed off head looks like they highlighted the mouth with a little reddish pinkish color, but the smirking head, the mouth is almost invisible. And this Goku features a lot of new sculpting. I honestly thought they were going to reuse the standard Super Saiyan hair, but we've gotten a fresh sculpt here. It's much more contained and much more jagged, kind of along the style of what they've done with Vegito and other characters. But I really like the look of this hair, some great sculpted detail. The blue is a very nice shade. There's some kind of black shadowing effect in it as well to really give it depth. I think it came out really, really nice. In order to match his new uniform from Dragon Ball Super and Resurrection F, they had to resculpt the entire upper torso. This is a brand new piece here. Instead of being the standard low cut with the shirt underneath, now we have what I remember more being something you'd actually wear in martial arts classes. You can see the one side's going underneath the other and kind of wrapped around. You have the Whis symbol there. I think it's a really nice sculpt. And I did check because there's a seam kind of going through the middle of it. So I was wondering if the back might have been taken off the old standard Super Saiyan, but it is a unique back as well, which is very cool. Shoulder pieces, they have to be unique, I guess, too, because they don't have the undershirt sticking out under them. But the upper arms look to be the same. But the lower arms, we do get a longer wristband that's different on this version of Goku. At the waist, we have a much skinnier belt than is standard and actually has the ties coming off of it as opposed to just the big thick infinity belt that he usually has. Then we have the rest of the uniform coming down here, which looks really good. Has a split over there above the legs, and it's just kind of a separate extra piece, but it continues on the look of what's above it. My only real gripe here is I feel like there could have been a little more paint shading on this. There actually really isn't any, it's just kind of a standard orange, and I really feel like a little shading would have helped highlight, especially this section here where it's being tucked in. It kind of just ends up looking a little flat. The lower torso is pretty much hidden because of this skirt piece, but the legs appear to be the exact same that we've gotten before. Big wrinkles around the knee. The lower legs also looking similar where they tuck over the boots, but the boots are different. Once again, accurate to how he looks in the show now. Kind of remind me of Trunks' boots. They might actually be the same sculpt, but I don't have Trunks to compare to. Then we have that black toe there at the end. A nice gray sole to the boot. Go around the back, we see there's more continued detail. And overall, I think just an impressive sculpt on this figure. For articulation, it's pretty standard if you have the regular Goku or the Super Saiyan Goku. He has a hinged ball joint at the neck, so he can look up just a little bit. It's kind of hindered by his hair. He can look down. He can turn his head side to side as well as tilt a little bit. And he also has a ball joint at the base of his neck to give you even greater ranges of motion. So using those two joints together, you can get a lot of cool looks out of Goku. Ball jointed shoulder is actually double ball jointed, so you can actually rotate around within that joint. You can go forward, back, and out to the side very easily. This upper part of his shoulder is on a ball joint connected to the back of his arm, so you can maneuver that to fill in the gap. We have a swivel at the upper bicep, bend at the elbow. You can rotate at the hand as well as swivel in and out, similar to a Hot Toys. We have that 1 degree of motion in the joint, and then we can rotate the hand around to change what axis it has that hinge at. Torso, you could swivel side to side, move forward and back, and then you could pop that joint apart and get a greater range of motion, but it is additionally hindered by the skirt piece. It's also going to play in when we go to move the legs, because the skirt is a free-floating piece, so that when you move the legs forward or back or out to the side, it does press up on the skirt. If you use the trick and drop the leg down and get a further range, you're still limited because that skirt will only push up so far. So with the upper torso disconnected, the skirt pushed up, that's still only as far as you can get that leg going forward, so no super high kicks on this Goku. So just something to be aware of. You're probably going to have to play around with him a little bit to get him in exactly the pose you want. But his leg can also swivel up there at the hip, get a double jointed knee that will bend back pretty far, and we get a ball joint at the ankle so you can move forward, back, side to side and pivot, and then a toe hinge. And for a comparison, here's our new Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Son Goku next to the standard release Super Saiyan Goku on the left. And you can see the hair sculpt is very, very different. This version is much smaller, much more contained. And you can see all the other differences between the sculpted detail here. And then you can also see what's the same. And on the right there, my really poor Super Saiyan God Son Goku version. Now this is something that we've been hinted at that we'll be getting a real release of, with the skinnier body that fits that version of Goku. And I'm very excited to see if that actually comes out, because this thing is based on a bootleg Goku body rather than a actual good Goku body. And as you can tell by the stand, it has a very hard time standing up on its own. And I'm really happy with how this figure turns out. I really thought it was going to be a lot of reuse of the standard Goku body mold. And while it is there, while we definitely can see parts that are very much the same, there's a lot of different stuff going on here too. I really, really like the hair sculpt. I think that looks phenomenal. The changes to the body overall seem good. The skirt is a bit problematic for me. And since I recently got Android 17 and 18 in this line, and realized that those figures actually use rubberized plastic, which is something that seems like Figuarts or Bandai Tamashii Nations avoids as a rule. I kind of feel like they could have benefited by bending that rule a bit and using it for that piece just to really help the figure's mobility. But overall, it's something I really enjoy. I can't wait to get this guy in my display case. And I can't wait for more Dragon Ball Super themed figures to come out. It looks like we should be getting Beerus and Whis soon, along with their other counterparts. And that Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta is coming in a few months as well. This figure gets a solid recommend. And make sure you check me out on Instagram using the name Outside the Box Reviews. Also follow me on Facebook, link below. And until next time, this has been our Outside the Box Reviews. And I'm going to keep making action figure reviews until there's over 9,000.